Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us today again. And welcome, Gina. I'm with Gina Newton. And we are on the second part of our series on health, energy, and well-being. Gina, thank you again for taking your time and joining us.
I'm so happy to be here. Thank you.
And just briefly, last time we talked about our chakras, energy, what impacts it, how to shift it to a little bit more to positive. If you don't mind, just literally with a few words, just summarize what we talked about last time, and then let's switch to today's topic, which is all about rest equals productivity.
Absolutely. So, on the last show, we talked about your personal energy and balancing your personal energy and ways to do that. And just sort of areas of your body, the chakras that can sort of let us know, and just the body can let us know. My take-home message really for the last talk and here as well is we have to connect our mind to our bodies. And I do think as we segue into rest, that is one of the most paramount products of rest is the mind reconnecting to the body. So, that really sort of ties in with our personal energy and how we can keep that balance, is that rest must be part of the way you restore your own personal energy. And if I'm a bedding woman, as I think a lot of the listeners, perhaps rest actually is sort of uncomfortable or kind of like a waste of time, or
they feel like they're doing something wrong because they stop during the day for 15 minutes. Yes.
Right. Exactly. So, I think, again, like I have lived personally in a very low rest. And I would say, 5-10 years ago now, I never really rested. And what I know to be true is when we don't rest, when we are constantly going, and I'm not even talking about your physical body, although of course that's part of it, but when our minds never rest, what I feel happens is, and I know to be true from myself as well as the clients I work with, is the mind and the body become further and further apart. And what happens is the mind is always up here. The body is down here. The mind is going, the to-do list, the work, the demands, my kids, my husband, my friends, my parents. There's just all of the mind never shuts off. And the body is like just trying to catch up. And it's just trying to support you in all of these things that you need to do for yourself. And so if we do not rest, the body essentially becomes neglected. And what we may encounter is physical pain, physical symptoms, discomfort. I continue to meet people who have been in highly stressful situations, either with their jobs or with their personal life, and they're having physical pain. I received a note from a colleague of mine I hadn't talked to in a while, and she was commending the work I do because she said she neglected herself for so long that she's now very sick. And I'm running into just people casually saying, I've got this hip pain, I've got this back pain, I've got these headaches, these chronic headaches. And, there's a variety of sources of where, physical pain can come from. And, some of the work I do as well is keeping the body and the muscles in balance. I am actually starting to get very specialized in postpartum recovery for women, and that, there are those very real life experiences that result in the core of our body being misaligned, and we have tight hips, we have lower back pain. So that is truly physical conditions that need support. But what I more encounter is there is just no rest. We are not rewarded for rest the way that we're rewarded for productivity. And that can be our own personal beliefs. But I do think that there's a lot of pressure in society that, we are rewarded for how much we do, what we do, versus how much we rest and take care of ourselves. And so one of my missions really is to change this narrative where, rest is productive, because we are better in our bodies, in our minds. We are better employees. We are better family members when we take the time to rest our mind and body, and restore ourselves, and then go back to do whatever is in front of us, for the day, for the week, for the year.
So agree with you. And it's so interesting how you're talking about the cost of, delaying rest for productivity, because productivity does make us really good. And it's now as you were talking, I kept thinking, she might not like I'm singling her out, but I just had a discussion about this with my sister. And my brother-in-law told me that, they are working from home as well. And she doesn't even get up hardly during the day for 8 hours. She's a hard worker and she just works. And I also mentioned to her yesterday, because she told me that all the people, as we talked about last time, energy, all the people, she takes on energy when someone tells her a sad story and so on. And she has her 2 kids. And I told her she needs to do meditation. And her response was exactly what people who need to do meditation say: I don't have time for meditation. So I responded.
That means you need it. Yeah.
I responded to her. That's exactly. So would you give us, so obviously we understand this, that over time, neglect, and this will affect all of us. Would you give us some examples? What if someone is really we talked about that everyone in certain fields, biotech, tech, is type A personalities and have hard time because resting, because they believe productivity is, they also enjoy being productive. So there are actually people who enjoy that, and they don't feel necessarily always the need that they need to rest. Could you give us some examples in what way they could potentially include rest in their everyday life?
100%. Well, it's so interesting because as a person who, I would tell you, I enjoy productivity. I just want to touch a little bit on mindset when it comes to this. Okay. So a lot of times we like productivity because it distracts us from other things. So it may be distracting us from sort of feelings within ourselves. It may be distracting us from our home environments. It may be distracting us from whatever, may be something that we're avoiding in life. And so a lot of times productivity can be a distraction because it actually is a distraction from feeling. So let me try to give an example of that in particular. So maybe there is a parent who's working out of the home and they have to work out of the home. And in parallel, they're working, but actually maybe they're also working, but scrolling social media at the same time. So they're, supposed to be doing their job, and they're doing their job, but they are feeling guilty for being out of the home and away from their child. And so as a distraction, maybe in parallel, they're scrolling their phone. And so there's this dividedness there to avoid the feelings of guilt. And so a lot of this and a lot of the work I do, and why I feel like it's important, is just being an observer of yourself and your own patterns. There's so many people that I meet that, oh, I just can't sit. I don't know how to relax. Why? Like, why? Is it simply that we've always been rewarded for staying busy? The other side of this is like, a lot of us, we don't know how to say no. Right? So, social engagements, work projects, parents who need us and asking us to do tasks for them, that for most people becomes overload. You're overloaded. And so you actually, so the inability to, or, lack of saying no, setting boundaries with yourself, even yourself, I will fully admit to being a person, I'm a lifelong learner. And I have to create boundaries with myself to say, you know what, my plate is full. I cannot take any more on for myself. I can't take, even in my, in a job. Okay, can you do this extra project? We have to learn, again, it's coming back to our personal energy and really looking what's on our plate. And if your energy is in the negative 50, when someone says, oh, can you take on this new project? We've got to say no. And learning that it is incredibly difficult. It is an art for sure. But this is the sort of mindfulness, and I haven't really touched on some of the language on the slide here, is when your nervous system is activated at all times, it's literally like draining your battery. It is tiring your system, your cardiovascular system, your mind. And a lot of people find their nervous system activated by shifts in their breathing. So if your nervous system is highly activated, you're shallow breathing. You're breathing from up here. We should be breathing from our bellies. We should be, and I actually, if you're breathing with your belly, I'm giving you props, because not many people do, because they're living very activated, very high stressed, a lot of demands. And when we rest, you're able to get connected and kind of lower your shoulders and get connected to your breath. And you can have the opportunity to go to that belly breathing. So your original question was, what's a few things we can do during the day to rest, so to speak? For a few minutes a day, if you're the person like your sister who's at the computer 8 hours a day, and all I picture is this hunched body, I'm very stressed, so the body becomes very armored. For a few minutes, turn your chair away from the computer, close your eyes, relax your shoulders, and literally just sit there and focus on your breath. Where is it? Let any sort of stress fall out of your mind, even for a short time. And even that can roll your shoulders back, connect to, feel in your body where you connect to the chair, where your arms sit on the chair, and just really get that connection for a few minutes a day. That is a little bit of rest for your body.
So basically be present with yourself. And as you, if you just do 2 minutes or 5 minutes of what we do during meditation, or at the beginning of meditation, settling in and just feeling where you are, the noises, hearing the noise around you, noticing everything without judging, right? And just resting.
100%. And, every time a person tells me they don't have time to meditate, like you said, that's the person who, needs it the most.
Absolutely.
And what I'll say,
she will not like me singling her out. A lot of people
it's okay.
are like
it's all good. It's all love. It's all love.
That's exactly.
But if you are like, my mind is too all over the place, I would invite you to do it anyway. I would invite you to let your mind be all over the place for that 1 minute. That's how I tell people to start. For 1 minute, set a timer, close your eyes, and just check out. It's 1 minute. I know you have this 1 minute.
Yes.
And it's a really good reset, and it's a very brief rest for your mind and body. And it gives time for the mind and body to come back together.
Yes. So Gina, my last question for you for today is, this has been excellent. And together with the energy, how to shift energy and how to do some movement exercise at the same time, how to rest, it's just the entire picture is so nicely coming together. I actually believe that this past year and a half that we went through, and this last time I also shared some research that mental health and in general, everything that we are talking about is becoming way more important for everyone. Do you believe that you've seen a shift in your clients, male, female, that they are noticing this much more and more, and it is becoming a very important topic?
100%, actually. Someone I work with who's very near and dear to me, very much the same personality in terms of working many hours, neglecting the body, sort of giving away personal energy to everybody but themselves. I'm so proud to see this person's evolution in terms of making time, making space in a very demanding job for themselves, doing meditation, utilizing things like essential oils, taking time to meal plan. So yes, I really do. I do think that, a lot more people working from home has 100% helped in this, in that it gives us a little bit more space to do some of this work. But, even this week, I kind of gave some homework, if you will, to say, I want you to notice what's happening in your body when you're feeling stressed and your nervous system is on. And this person in particular said, I'm actually not breathing. And that's a big one. Or I'm clenching my fists. And just think about what that's doing to your cardiovascular system and your nervous system by holding your breath. It's stressing the body. It's stressing the body. It's stressing your fists, hunching over the shoulder. I mean, that is one of a trend in, the fitness industry, really, is that people are coming in more with this hunch. And these are all overactive and underactive muscles as a result of our lifestyle. So that is a big job for people like me to help people balance those muscles up, open the shoulders, because over time, this hunching is impacting our posture and our physical well-being. So yes, I have seen, and especially in the people I've worked with, the level of self-awareness to some of their patterns that knowledge is power. And if you realize these patterns and these ways of being, you can change them, not because you want to change yourself, but you want to shift to patterns that are supportive of longevity. And that's really what I'm in the business of, is longevity.
And what I really have to point out is that we actually become way more productive if we have some quality time to rest and understand that part. We become way more productive. At least that's my experience. Right?
100%. Yes, I've always sort of said that to myself. When you just want to get that one more thing done, is I'm actually going to be better if I take some time to rest.
And probably that if you get it done next time, it's going to be much better quality how you got that task done. So,
100%.
So Gina, thank you so much. Any other few takeaways that you would like us to hear from you, everyone? Thank you so much, and everyone can reach Gina on her website, and please take it away and just give us the last few words and let us know how we can reach you.
Healingwithgina.com is my website. And you can actually reach my social media pages from there as well. I would urge you to really sit with whether you can be part of, a shift in our culture that rest is as valuable as productivity. And, that is really what I'm for, is assigning the same value on rest as we do on productivity for our mental and physical well-being.
Great. And couldn't agree with you more. Thank you so much, Gina.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being with us these last two occasions. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, and have a great rest of the day.